So next, we're going to talk about some of our staff rules from our employee handbook.
You get your employee handbook on your first day of work. Be very familiar with everything. You're going to end up needing to read every single page, starting with the code of conduct.
The code of conduct covers a lot of our basic policies about how we act and how we hold ourselves in a professional manner, and different rules that we have to follow here while working at the winery in regards to ourselves and to our guests. We're also going to cover our dress code.
And we have a couple of friends from the staff who are here to help us with that. Meet Destiny. Destiny's been a server at the winery for more than 3 years. As you can see, Destiny's uniform is a very simple black top with denim bottoms. She is wearing closed-toe shoes, and if she was wearing shorts in the summer, just like at school, they would be down to her fingertips. Now, we don't want to see someone walk into work like Destiny's twin sister. We don't wear any type of graphics on the front of our shirts. We have no holes in our jeans, and we don't wear our hair down for girls whose hair is longer than shoulder length.
And here we have Michael, who is in his proper uniform for the day. He's got the right shoes, the right top, he's got the jeans on, he's looking like he's ready for work and ready to take care of guests. And if you want to wear, depending on the season, longer sleeve shirts are fine as long as it's solid black. But having a hoodie with a logo on, having your cell phone in your hand, AirPods in your ears, the hat on, we don't want to look like we're not distracted by what we're doing and not present and ready to take care of our guests at all times. So the next thing we want to talk about is policies during your shift. So while you're working, we do have policies about our time card. You want to clock in at the beginning of your shift, clock out at the end of your shift, and not be working off of the clock ever. We do work as a tip pool, so that's also important to have the time cards accurate so that everybody's getting paid correctly. It's also important when we give you breaks and mealtime. We do get 50% off on a meal while you're working from the food truck, but it is important that you're only taking breaks when authorized by a manager, and those breaks are taken in a timely manner depending on the business of the day. So obviously on a slower day, we could take some longer breaks. A busy day, our breaks are going to be shorter so that everybody has a chance to eat and sit down for a second.
That's why we do suggest on our busier days, don't rely on the food truck to have time to make your lunch. Come to work prepared that you will bring your own food in case we are so busy that the food truck cannot accommodate our employees' orders.
We also think it's very important that if you are going to be late, if you need to cover your shift, calling out of shifts, it's important that you're communicating with your managers here at the winery on the day of. So call the winery and talk to someone here. Don't just send an email.
If you have not accurately noted your availability in when I work, and you are assigned a shift, it is your responsibility to find someone to cover your shift. If we get to the 24-hour mark and you haven't found anybody, then you need to contact your manager so that they can try and expedite or find other ways to switch around staff to help cover your shift.
We also have an employee parking area, and it's important on the busy days that we are leaving the main parking available to our guests. So one of the policies that is important to understand is the way our tip pool works. All employees here at the winery for the day are sharing of the same tips. So whenever we get cash tips, whenever we get all tips from all events or anything, all of that goes into the tip pool, and all employees that are working that day share in that. This promotes strong teamwork. Also, our staff that opens the winery and our staff that close the winery all contribute to all the different working parts that help make all of our events go off, whether it's our wine train or our comedy shows. There are a lot of things where some members of the staff might help start something that someone else is finishing. So it's important to understand that every guest that we help, every guest that gives us a nice gratuity, that is making more money for the whole team. And that also goes from the cabana service. Some people will go from a cabana experience to a dining experience to an outdoor experience. Some people move around and do different things at the winery. And we do want them to get that great experience everywhere. So it doesn't matter who they're tipping, because we're all sharing that. All cash tips also are going to be collected by where our cash drawers are located. We don't have any tip jars out on our bars or anywhere visible to guests. And any parties that are larger than 6 people are going to have an automatic gratuity of 20%, and that includes all of our private events and larger events like that.
And that's something the server is going to make sure they add onto their tab at the end, correct? Correct.
All right. So we also need to talk a little bit about our electronic device policy. Staff members cannot use their personal mobile devices during their working hours in view of the guest unless you're using it for work and you have permission from a manager. This is very important that we don't look like we're distracted to our guests and that we're focused on taking care of them. So it's important if you have a wristwatch, an Apple Watch, ear pods, anything like that, those need to be put away, put in your personal bag, put in the employee break area upstairs. They need to be away from the guest area. And if you want to check your phone or take a smoking break or a social media break or anything of that nature, that needs to happen with manager permission, and it needs to happen outside of the view of the guest.